Good afternoon, Internet. Today we are going to make another earth tone paint, handmade watercolor paint, and we are following the recipes given to us by Mike Chaplin. And obviously everyone deviates from a recipe because they either have too much or too little. Actually, they have a lot of one ingredient that they want to use. Anyway, we have used up the medium that we made in advance, and so now we are going to make some more. And this time we're going to use, now our one part is actually going to be multiplied, but you know, I don't know how much. I'm going to put a few powdered teaspoons. Actually, I think they're going to be more like tablespoons. And 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got 8 parts of Acacia Senegal, which you can see right here. It's a pound and it costs about, $15. I believe I have it or will have it in my description. So, and this of course comes from the acacia tree, and the acacia tree, oh, by the way, our star today is going to be Burnt Umber from France. Put that off to the side. Do some housekeeping, and I've left the quote from Mike Chaplin is a genius, and he is well renowned. He's renowned in England, and he really has done some fabulous work, and a lot of it. Okay, so now we are in the midst of mixing this, and I think I'm going to, now the gum arabic here that we're using is also food grade, and so it's definitely not toxic. And it's a thickening agent, like so many chefs have and use thickening agents. I want to get a little bit more water than that. Oh, yeah, I used up. Let's see, what do you think? I've deviated from the recipe already. I have just added sparkling water, not even Perrier. Well, this is pretty thick. Well, it is. It is a thickening agent. So, I wonder if the powder has a little bit different quality than the gum arabic that you can buy for $12 to $15 at Winsor and Newton. They reconstitute it and as a liquid, and I don't know exactly how they might reconstitute it. Well, maybe I should have my blender. It's food grade after all. Although, yeah, I don't know. I got a feeling 8 spoonfuls is too much. Let's go ahead and try it. But let us add the other ingredients. This right now is not a premix anymore. It just has the reconstituted powdered gum arabic. And so let us, now we got some leftover paint. Let me get rid of that. I'm staining the dirt in my yard and any camera equipment that gets in the way. Housekeeping. So there, that burnt sienna is extreme. It seems like it's staining, even though on paper it's kind of medium staining. But it sure is staining my mortar. Well, that's probably not the best. Let's ooh, I'm staining my concrete too. I'll hear about that. Okay, and my pestle is pretty yucky. Now, maybe I'm going to contaminate some of the burnt umber with a little burnt sienna, but let's not. Okay, there. And to all of you out there, don't do this in your kitchen. And in fact, it's kind of messy for a studio, so take it outside. There. So let's mix in some of our star attraction here, the pigment from the Burnt Umber from France. And where would we be without Ziploc bags? I'm going to make a fairly good sized batch, although it does get messy. I get messy. Let's go 3. Well, here is a test. The reconstituted gum arabic, and there's a lot of water in it, and basically I'm just mixing this up. Probably could just as well do this in a kitchen bowl. Actually, the quantity I'm making here. So as far as the proportions go, let's have 4 of those. I think I should have at least 1 teaspoon. I'm going to do 2 teaspoons because it just doesn't look like this. Gum arabic is exactly like the gum arabic that you get. I think I'm going to skip the honey because I've never thought that burnt sienna should be shiny. But don't forget the ox gall. If I can find it. Okay, there we go. And then we just want to use a drop, but I'm going to use 1/2 milliliter. There's 1/2 milliliter. So well, this is this is not mixed yet. Let me put this away. With my lid. So wow, I have made several pots full of this stuff, and it is thick. we're going to make dried pans. This would be quite a few pans, and very thick. I basically had 8 parts of dry here gum Arabic. I'm dyslexic. I'll tell you, let's try this before we put it in pans. Let's see what it looks like. It would probably be a lucky mess. You may remember our last session we did Burnt Sienna. So now, let's see. I thought it's a good idea to tape this down on the other 3 sides and then limit the field in which we paint. And so I'm going to put this down. Oh, it's like fly paper. Okay, I think we've just about got it down, and let's label it Burnt Umber, Burnt Umber. This going to be interesting. Oh my God, it's right there. Ooh. We'll get this on cameras. Okay. And that, it's got that's left over. It's left over from the Burnt Sienna. Now this is going to screw up my test, my very scientific test. Well, this might be a bust anyway. So let's put some more water on that again, like it needs it. I don't know why I did that. That looks terrible. But I'm pretty sure this burnt umber is gonna Oh, it looks thick. It looks thick, but it's not. It's, well, it's becoming transparent. Well, that's nice and transparent. What happens if we lift on it? Okay, I've lifted here. Well, that's not, that's contaminated. That doesn't tell us anything. Oh. Well, it's very staining. You put this down, it's by and large down to stay. It's a staining. Let's just see if it has any granulation to it. Carbonated water. We at least know it's probably distilled. Now, while I was filling up my water spray bottle, I see that some of the moisture that I put down was already, no, it's not doing anything. Well, this is interesting. This is fairly light, and I can see if you put enough water on, it'll what the hell? Oh well, here, pick up some, but maybe not. Look at this. Let's get carried away here. It's not all that stainy, but then again, you know, I just put it down. Here we've got a lot of water going on. It's definitely not granulating. So it's somewhat staining unless you remove it right away, which isn't saying much. Now, I did spray on water here, and we can see we're, actually it looks like we're granulating a little, but I'm not certain. Well, you know, if you just leave the moisture on for a while, but still, I would say that lifting, you want to do your heavy lifting right away, shortly after you put it on. Well, it's starting to look like one of the paintings from one of my art instructors in college, Ken Babrick. He stopped doing objective art and started laying down water colors, experimenting with different media, and making really some beautiful designs that look like outer space, like the Hubble telescope views. Actually, I guess Hubble is dead, but anyway, you know, those views, okay, well, I think we're done here. You can see that the burnt umber is really, it looks like it's very thick, but when you start putting it on, it's not very opaque. It's actually fairly transparent. It lifts pretty good when you decide to lift it shortly after you put it down, and in this instance, it isn't really heavily. It's a really dark wash that I put on, and this wasn't, you know, this was dry on wet, and this was wet on wet, still wet. Anyway, so that's the end of our session, and I hope to have you visit soon. I will talk to you later. If you do any talking in the comments, and I appreciate the comments and I'll answer everyone.